do now? It's your reflection looking back to pull you. So are you gonna die today or make it out alive? You gotta conquer the monster in your head and then you'll fly, fly, Phoenix fly. It's time for a new empire. Go bury your demons, then tear down the ceiling, Phoenix fly. And now you're playing with matches, come out of the ashes underneath you. A million voices in the crowd, they're screaming, stop now. Well, let them swallow the pride, you're turning the tide to true believers. Got them in the palm of your hand, you're playing God now. What you gonna do now? It's your reflection looking back to pull you down. So are you gonna die today or make it out alive? You gotta conquer the monster in your head and then you'll fly, fly, Phoenix fly. It's time for a new empire. Go bury your demons, then tear down the ceiling, Phoenix fly. So are you gonna die today or make it out alive? You gotta conquer the monster in your head and then you'll fly, fly, Phoenix fly. It's time for a new empire. Go bury your demons, then tear down the ceiling, Phoenix fly. Let's sing a song full of hope, full of pain. Why don't you sing along, my friend? For it's our last refrain. Forever young, ever strong, ever brave. Memories like this never end. No, they don't fade away. So when I'm gone, oh, when I'm gone, I'll be right there, close to the sun. Keep holding on, and I'll be right there, close.
Welcome to the world, no heroes and villains. Welcome to the war, we've only begun. So pick up your weapon and face it. There's blood on the ground, go and take it. You get one shot to make it out alive. So higher and higher you chase it. It's deep in your bones, go and take it. This is your moment, now is your time.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Serenity Gaming Autumn Split Division 2 as we're going to see Ikasbrunde take on ULM Gaming. And they have already met once with Ikasbrunde taking the win, and they're both on current hot streaks. And man, it's exciting. I'm your PvP caster, Nicholas, joined here by JFT, our color caster for today. JFT, take it
Oh.
away. What are we going to see today?
Well, it's going to be a very hype game today. Both of these teams sitting near the top of the standings. Icakas Branda actually joint first at the moment in the standings with 10 points, along with Sorby Solitude and SRG Lira. And this is all for playoff spots now. There's not much time left in this autumn split. Playoffs are on the horizon. Teams have got to be looking towards them first two spots. They want the buys into the week two. The least amount of games you have to play before getting to that final, the better. Even if the games you can play before that can be seen as practice best of fives, it's still the case of the easiest route to the final is still the best because you want to turn up at that final, then you want to play your A game, and you want to win the league.
Yeah, definitely it's getting closer as we are also getting to the end of the season. And I will just like to take a moment to thank all of you for tuning in, as well as to our sponsors for making sure we can get this out every single week. Hungry.dk, Streamboss, Forbes, Summerland, and Triggers Esport, as well as everyone out there. Thank you so much for supporting SRG, and this is why we can make such a great series and have such great esports going on.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this series today is going to be one of the spiciest. Like you've said before, they have met up before, and it was a very, very close game. So I'm expecting a lot of the same today. These two teams are quite exciting teams. They want to go for a lot of this proactive early game or go for a lot of kills. So I think we've got a very, very exciting series in store for you here. We've just got a little minor delay at the moment in Champ Select before we get into Champ Select. But we should be there soon.
Yeah, I
So,
do believe that our boy is patching right now, so it shouldn't be too long, but we will shortly be there. So in the meantime, let's just quickly talk about what are the priorities for these teams, what is their playstyles, and what can we see both of them focusing on during draft.
we'll start with ULM. Basically, they seem to be very more bot side focused. They want to get their bot lane ahead. They want they want to get their AD carry ahead, get them to a position where they're comfortable. Something on like the Kai'Sa, very high priority at the moment. You just need to have a look at Worlds as well, where Kai'Sa is still a very high priority, being one of the two good AD carries at the moment in a meta that is filled with everything in the kitchen sink can go down towards that bot lane. So something like the Kai'Sa, something like the Caitlyn, get into the hands of ULM's bot lane, along with more of an engaged support, something like the Fresh, something like the Nautilus, something that can help propel this team to engages. Their top side is their weaker side from the games that we've seen. Obviously, things can change coming into this one. And I think they've got their draft is a lot more strict and rigid. They're more predictable. They've got very signature picks. It can be targeted. Stuff like the Kai'Sa, stuff like the Fresh as well, or the Nautilus. And then if we go across to the other side, in eCaster Brande, actually have a much more versatile team comp here. Their players can play a lot, and because of this, even if you do scout them, even if you do target ban them, they can bring out something new every single time. And this can make it very, very difficult to draft against them because you never know what pocket pick they can pull out and it could catch you by surprise and cost you a game. So you've got to be very confident in your own play style when playing against this team because with the champions and the matchups you'll be playing against, you can't be 100% sure. They do, however, like to carry through their jungle in the early game. Get their jungler on an engaged jungler in the early game, something like a Jarvan, something that can have a lot of pressure on these lanes and be able to basically snowball them into this late game where they become an unstoppable force. And I think from both of this, I think we're going to see a lot of priority on this bot lane because both AD carries love the Kai'Sa pick, and because of that, and because of the fact that especially ULM like to play through their bot lane, and there's a lot of gold down there, I reckon we will be able to see a very, very spicy bot side of the map in the early game.
Yeah, definitely seems like that. As we are getting closer to Champs Select now, we might just be getting in, and we do definitely expect ECAS to be the favorite, given they won last time and Arc tied for number one. But definitely, we do see a lot of um, really secure picks for the side of ULM, and if they can get just a few of them, like the Fiora, like the Kaiser, or the Fresh, then they might actually just be able to run away just by comfort alone. What
Yeah, you
as
just
we have seen them do in the past. As we are seeing some mid lane man here with the Ari and even the Echo that can go into the jungle, of course.
Yeah, I think this is a lot of respect being thrown towards RoboX. As I'm looking at his OP.GG, he has had a lot of games on the Ari and has had a lot of success with it in solo queue. So I think that's very much a respect ban going over to the other side, as well as the Pyke and the Xayah just being a very good ban in the meta at the moment. With the fact that the bot lane mirrors, the two prime AD carries in this bot lane meta actually banned away, and the Tristana picked up first pick, and this could
Oh yeah,
actually be
triple flex.
triple flex.
Hell
It
yeah!
could,
Like, okay, I didn't expect the Rise and Pike to be like the most respectful bands in the game, but definitely like this is a champion select we like to see from both sides, really forcing each other to play something new, really trying to figure out each other's style and really keeping them on their toes so they have to show their cards immediately.
yeah. So this Kale pick here again could be a triple flex, but most likely it's going to be going into upper mid, especially now with the Ezreal locked in.
Yeah,
Uh,
I do definitely think it's Mo playing this. It could definitely be RoboX, but I have seen Mo play it in the past, and it is still more considered the top lane pick. As in mid lane, it does still have some struggles that can be exploited through junglers way easier. While in top lane, usually they can call their own jungler up in time.
yeah, and as now if we to the other side, the
Oh
Yasuo
my,
Gragas actually pick up. I
this is
I
such a
think
great
this
chat.
is a Yasuo mid Gragas jungle.
Yeah,
Just because
of
I've
course.
seen it before in other games they have played. They have done this duo of the Gragas Yasuo,
Yeah.
very powerful with all the knockups, and then the Nautilus being picked on the other on side of ULM just for safety in that bottom
Yeah,
lane.
definitely. Uzimat is known to be a really good Yasuo, and we have seen Purple Wave play the Gragas in the past. It could, of course, still be flexed down to the bot lane, but it's not as likely because Lunson and Requia had probably not practiced it as much. So it should still be most likely a Tristana bot lane now. I don't think it will be Yasuo, mid, Gragas, Junk, and Tristana top. I feel like that would be a bit too weak because it would be focusing way too hard on AD damage.
I'm actually very surprised with the Nidalee ban.
Uh,
I think that
it's a lot of respect towards Purple Wizard if it's
yeah,
actually Gragas Yasuo bot lane,
bot lane, yeah.
but they still aren't sure. They're giving respect to both sides by banning both as support as well as a jungler.
Yeah, and a lot of bans being thrown towards the mid lane for Ikacaster Brander in the second half of the bans with the Oriana and
Yeah.
the LeBlanc. So they're predicting this as a KO up to the top side.
Yeah, and I really like both the Oriana and LeBlanc ban. The LeBlanc is more so for the matchup, while the Oriana is the respect ban towards RoboX, and I really like to see that as the Olaf is locked in. I would
This is
actually
an
say this
Annie
is
hover
jungle.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is an Olaf jungle. This I'm not sure that no, I don't think that's an
I
actual
don't
hover.
think I think he's trolling us. I think
Yeah,
he's
I just wonder.
it could be any support. Like it works, but why? Then it would be Yasuo Gragbot, and then
yeah, we
yeah,
got that.
of
That
course
means
it's
it
gonna be
is a
on. They left
Tristana
on up,
going.
like
Yeah,
on Yasuo
Tristana's
come.
now mid or bot.
Watch the Brom. What should come in here? I'm telling you.
Hit. Ooh.
Like I'm telling you, this is what's gonna be looking. It's gonna be the. I'm telling you. Oh wait.
Oh wait, that's Yasuo
Oh
Gragas
my
bot lane
god.
then. Tristana mid, Yasuo Gragas bot, Talia jungle.
Wait. Let's do some pro cast analysis. It could still be on support.
It could still won't be on support.
Nicky X can play it. Requiem can maybe too. No, but seriously, this is the draft we've also been seeing in G2 where everybody can play everything.
Yeah,
And
and
that's what's
this is
so
what.
scary about ECAS. They are such deep champion pools and nobody knows how deep. We don't know where their limits are.
Oh, what? Alright, I was gonna be like, is that the Gragas jungle with on Talia bot lane.
No. I think it's literally just Uzi playing the Tristana. I know
Yeah.
Uzi man also plays Tristana. I don't think he's probably as skilled on the Tristana as the Yasuo, but he may have had a bit more scrim practice than I may give him credit for. It's a more standard comp for the side of ULM. And while we usually say that standard is the best way to play League up until a certain point, I do think that ECAST is that point where they really can show this diversity by playing into the meta as well as like doing their own adaptation at it, like the Talia jungle here, giving them an extra knockup instead of like being this really just instant kill lane that you've seen with Renekton recently.
Wait, that's actually Yasuo mid lane, Tristana bot lane.
Wait, what?
It's not actually the Yasuo Tristana bot lane. It's
Okay, ECAST forget everything. You're just trolling now. Like I still get it, but it's like now you don't have the impact of early Yasuo.
Yeah, no, it's now Yasuo into the Corki, which I think I actually prefer the Tristana matchup into the Corki. I think Tristana, but with the all-in potential, even though Yasuo has the same all-in potential, he can also be poked out of lane. Tristana, with not being able to be poked out really by the Corki, and then with the all-in potential, I thought it would have been a Tristana mid.
Yeah, I also did too, but it does make sense in two regards. Uzimat is and Lunson is probably better on their respective champions here in Yasuo and Tristana when they are playing
Yeah.
them themselves. And I do still think that Talia Yasuo is a strong combo. And
Oh yeah, definitely.
the Yasuo is gonna have a bit easier time to deal with Corki. I do think Corki is a really good pick to deal with Tristana, and I don't want to see Tristana die early because if Tristana dies early, they kind of lose a lot of pressure they should have.
Yeah, it's
Both
yeah, I
teams
agree.
have strong late games, so having a losing mid lane is never gonna work, especially against Corki. So having the Yasuo who can play a bit safer, using the Windball to save himself, probably is the better shout. It's just now you lose like a lot with Gragas support without any follow up.
Yeah, it's like you lose the power of the 2v2 with
Yeah.
the Yasuo Gragas. But I think talking about the late game, if we actually look at over at ULM's comp here, their late game is scary. Level
Yeah.
16 Kayle, level 16 Corki, and the late game Ezreal. That's a lot of damage on the side of ULM.
And the best thing about it is it's mixed damage. Like
Yeah,
all three of them
it's-
do mixed.
all
Kayle
three-
does mostly AP, Corgi does mostly AP, and Ezreal does to a certain extent half and half.
Exactly.
I do think a lot of it is AP, but it's his Qs that does the most of his damage, so it is an AD focused champion.
Yeah, so I think even though obviously IBES have the like they have the on items, they have that late game little late boost of gold of the fact you can get the upgraded
Yeah,
items
the
from the on.
massive crowd control knockups, like all
Oh yeah,
CC
Gragas.
into a Gragas, all onto the Kayle, into the last Tempest or what Yasuo ult is called, into the Tristana ult,
yeah.
into the Talia wall to split them up. Like these guys are layering CC on CC on CC, having Yasuo, Tristana, and Talia do massive DPS.
They're going all in on the knockup comp.
The thing is, Olaf doesn't really care.
Yeah,
Kayle
it's
can
Olaf.
just ult a Corki and just let Corki absorb all of it.
Yeah, and then you've got Ezreal E, Corki
Yeah.
package, Kayle. You've got ways to survive all of this EC. And even if Yasuo does dive in, the fact you've got a Nautilus for that peel, if Yasuo again gets instantly CC'd, he's dead. He's gone. Goodbye, Yasuo. Nice knowing you.
The way is, I do think that ECAS Brandes still has the better comp, even though we can see multiple TPs on ULM side, and we can see that these guys definitely have the better share of damage because they aren't relying on one type of they are. Of course, they have Talia, but like it's Yasuo and Tristana that are the main characters.
They're gonna
The
yeah,
reason I
Yasuo
think
just
is better. I'm sorry, I'll just quickly finish this up. I think if they bring it out in the sidelines, they're way better at collapsing. Corgi's great at collapsing, don't get me wrong, but every single other champion on the side of ULM aren't. These guys want to do the group fights and they want to set them up right. And they might not be allowed to by ECAST. ECAST are really good at this. They are really good at setting up the lane after the early game's done. And with an Ornn as well as like Talia to just flank to set up a 2v1 or even more so, because Tristana can also jump around the map, Gragas can jump around the map pretty easily as well. These guys will collapse. Like, you get caught out once, and then suddenly this is a way different game. A 4v5 is never going to be easy, no matter how late game's going you are.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Like, we
This is
now
gonna
I
be
feel we're
interesting
late
as
to
we
game.
are getting into the game now. We we are seeing just a stack here from the side of Ecast here. I don't think that Borieko is gonna go up there.
I don't think they should go for the invade
Yeah.
here
Olaf does just
because
get the ward over on the blue.
it's like I think the Nautilus here is a lot stronger in the early game. And if we actually notice, this is actually something that's been cropping up more and more. The Olaf's actually backing after placing down the ward. The reason for this is the red sweeper timer is less than the yellow trinket timer. So that
Yeah.
when the red sweeper timer goes up again, by the time you first back, you can swap it over for the yellow trinket and you'll have your wards back again.
Yeah, and also if you actually find that prime gank opportunity, you might as well sweep, right?
Yeah,
Sweep is always the better trinket as a jungler. It's just that ward at level 1 is so insanely disgusting, given that you give so much more information. Talia didn't get to do as much, but she still prioritizes the sweeper just because it's the better jungle stuff.
yeah, exactly. It's even though there is a little less vision. I'll be interested to see if the Olaf will actually try and go for the early invade top side, like go for a bit of
Yeah.
a bot side clear into going for it. But I'm not sure now that it will actually be able to
Yeah.
happen. Corki
I-
getting priority over the mid lane, just as expected. In
I
the
would
early
also
levels.
say that we do also see interesting Keystone coming out with Olaf Predator, so that would also probably pay in mind to what this Olaf gonna try and do. He wants his boot before he actually does anything.
Yeah, he wants his boots. He wants to get into them lanes.
Yeah.
And here is one of the last times before preseason we'll see Kleptomancy Ezreal, everybody. That rune is going away.
Yeah, like I don't even remember what they were gonna do, Clapter, because I feel like they reworked it. I heard some talk about that, and then I heard removing, and I just didn't even care at that much because I'm gonna let preseason roll out and have a fun time just not caring.
Yeah, it's I like Kleptomancy, even with the Kale topside, even though a passive
Allowing
uses
Fiora. All of the fun stuff. Oh, bot lane.
I mean,
Red
yeah,
Bull went in a little deep there, took half his health.
yeah, unfortunately didn't manage to get the aftershock proc there, but the Corki taking a bad trade in the mid lane there, RoboX. But if we actually look going into this laning phase, if nothing changes and the map stays like this 0-0, and everybody's CSing evenly, that's when Kleptomancy's there, everybody. That's when they should got the amazing Kleptomancy gold. We've actually got Talia's now path down towards the bot side. Olaf's gone for a full clear, not backed yet, taken every single one of the camps. Talia's going for bot skull, so the map is actually currently split, but because Icasta's bot lane is actually pushing in, there is no real gank opportunity onto this Nautilus list. That's real.
Yeah.
But
So,
I'd do it. Carry on, sorry.
yeah, I do think that it's something we've seen a lot during the splits, like even in every division. These guys don't really want to fight that much. They want to trade. They want to see if they can get their jungler up an early kill if possible. But most likely they aren't, and they're just gonna wait for ult, and then suddenly everything explodes.
Yeah.
Like everything implodes upon level 6, and then it's everyone's game because it's basically just a nightmare war field, and everybody's just trying to survive it.
Yeah, especially with the Talia ult coming in, Purple Wizard being able to use that Talia ult to get to basically, well, to a lot of the map, having access to gank side lanes from out of vision, just more trading in the mid lane.
Yeah.
And
No,
Olaf may actually be looking for a gank here, using
he's
Sweeper.
there-
I'm
he's
just going to
just
clear
going.
out a bit of vision.
However, Talia is also walking up topside. That's the bit more interesting one.
Yeah, there was no vision there for the KO, I don't think. I don't think the KO actually knows that Talia's there.
Yeah, and
Because
Mo
there's no
has
pings coming out.
in the past been like the one to overextend a bit in the early game. So I would like to see if they can get this going. Pearl Wizard is going in.
Yeah, he's
Renegade
going
setting
for
it
a
up. The W misses.
This
Seismic
is-
Toss not there, so no flash even gotten. Just a waste of time.
Yeah. I like to see the Keystone at the Yasuo is actually gone at the moment. You see a lot of people going for the fleet footwork. But I do like the Conqueror here, like going for a bit more offensive with the Doran's Blade as well as he goes on for a trade.
Yeah, I've
so-
even seen some PTA lately, as well as for like Irelia. Just a lot of these Conqueror users that were dominant because of that Keystone has just suddenly switched. Do you even know why that is?
Because on PvE they're taking true damage off Conqueror.
Oh, well, that's good to know. Oh, as we do see
Oh,
Kovacs being called here, he has splashed out. He's being very echo, making sure that the ignite's going down. Uzimat also might be falling to the Infernal Drake here. Oh, but Lunson
just-
gets one on the back. As he does get the climb. Oh, we see Renegade making sure that RoboX falls down, and now it's a 2-for-1. Lunson re-engages. Meat Squeeze has already used his flash. Can he get out? Tristana has the pre-TA down. Renegade doesn't have flash. Lunson needs one more auto attack. Requiem, flash
Aye.
juice, it lands! And it's a
That's
3-for-1 after a fight that initially started out to be all in the favor of ULM, now just turns around being a 3-for-1 with Infernal Drake still up.
Yeah, that's a disaster fight there for ULM. The Yasuo going so close to being caught down. The Corki going so deep to try and get that kill. Vulture ends up costing him a life. It's a 3-for-1 there. The gold leave now moving up to 4k. Not 4k, 400. I'm getting way ahead of myself there.
Yeah,
But
don't worry, they don't have an Infinity Edge yet.
Yeah. I mean, I like to see now that this Yasuo is, even though the CS is quite behind, now should feel more comfortable in this matchup. Now with the boots being able to catch up with the Corki, as one might actually go for an all-in here.
Yeah.
Kale's doing very little damage to this all.
Yeah, but it is still the fun and interactive Kleptomancy, right? It has been one of the most hotly debated keystones as well as Conqueror of is it actually supposed to be in the game, because it's just sometimes unfun to play against. Like, this girl is just getting so much gold, like, it's a big difference despite the Ornn actually not looking that much down. The Kale has tower plating, got extra Klepto gold, as we do see the Drake falling out here. Actually,
that's
well,
great.
ULM.
Yeah, with no mid priority and with their bot lane resetting, that's actually a very smart jump off that it's a climb there, knowing that the bot lane had reset for yeah. And I think because of that, then getting the Drake off of that, it makes that play a lot more worth before. Even though it was still a 3-for-1, it still was pretty bad for them. The Yasuo now feels a lot more comfortable in this lane. We see them going forward. Getting the Infernal Drake is a very good consolation prize off the back of it.
Yeah, Uzimat just trading. Yeah, but the way you're saying it, it's kind of like we were saying with G2 against SKT. It's where they take the in-hit bot lane but lose the Baron. It's like a suboptimal play, but because the aftermath after that is really good for G2, it's suddenly a good play. Like,
Yeah.
it is a bad play because it turns out badly for the side of ECAS, but that's in hindsight. Now, because the 3-1 was still in the favor of them, so they were of course playing it well, but now it just ends up being good. It was still of course a misplay by ULM by losing that fight.
And going back to your Kleptomancy point, they did lose that fight, but look at the gold difference. It's basically even with 300 going the favor. Ooh, there's also
my.
going for an all-in.
This time we see a lot of fun and interactive damage from
Yeah.
Ornn.
So we see Ornn passive doing what Ornn passive does. But going back to the Kleptomancy point, because of the amount of gold this Kayle and Ezreal have managed to get off Kleptomancy, the gold leave is actually shifting. It's a lot more even now. And I actually remember once, I think it was in the LEC, that a player actually paused the match because they didn't get any items off Kleptomancy. And it was like 15 minutes into the game. And it wasn't actually a bug, they just got literally really unlucky. Or the two junglers actually meet here.
Oh yeah, I suppose Wizard might just be dead here. No way of getting out. And
Yeah,
the rotation for Robex and Mo is already there. Yeah, no time to really cast because no time is really alive.
Yeah, is that all after
Requiem looking bot lane, getting the Scud, but doesn't get the Q. Oh my Lunson, you being caught there. It's a 1-for-1, but I think Meat Squeeze might just be able to chase Requiem here. Requiem doesn't have anything.
And here
Robex
comes
coming
the
down.
Corki.
Can he land anything? He Valkyries in,
And
and he
there
does
he-
get that empowered auto. Oh my.
And now the game's completely shifted. 1.5k gold lead now for the side of ULM. Mostly
Yeah.
Klepto gold. Now with the play in the bot side. Oh, it's on.
Oh, we do see the
over
engage coming in.
Yasuo.
Uzimat is topside. There's still flash onto the kill. Here comes the ult. But she can't just flash
And
out
that-
like that. Uzimat will just pick up the kill. Okay, action all across the map. As we were saying, very bloody as we are used to here in Autumn Split.
Yeah, and that again, it was more like because of what happened, but it's not evening up the gold really, but it's making this Yasuo more and more comfortable in the matchup. Or as Olaf actually comes in for the gank
now
on the
it's
Olaf.
Olaf up top lane. No time to analyze. Time to die. Because Renegade is going down. It's the climb just picking up that free kill.
Yeah. And I think really we need to look towards the Yasuo now. The Tristana is sitting on 2 kills, but we've got to watch what happens with this Yasuo in the next 5 to 7 minutes. Because if Yasuo now gets behind, because Corki is still very fed.
Oh, no,
Like,
he gets better. Okay. You
Like,
continue.
looking at the Corki, because they do have 2 kills, they are sitting quite comfortably in themselves. The fact they've got basically a 20 CS lead on the Yasuo. If Yasuo gets caught out in the next 5 minutes ish, it's a very, very bad sign for Isacasta Grande then, because their Yasuo is their main carry at the moment. Even though Tristana is sitting very well on the gold, does have some plate gold, does have a slight CS lead. It's with Yasuo getting most of the advantages from these roams, from the end of the Dragon Plate, picking up a kill there, from the roam top to get the kill on the Kayle. I think what we want to see now is Yasuo Uzumad roam towards this bot side, roam towards this bot lane. Your Tristan is strong, and you can get a lot of kills onto this Nautilus Ezreal if the play is played right.
Yeah, especially as Requiem flashes in, he gets the casket off. Ezreal does just flash out, but can they at least get Borieko? Borieko also flashes. Borieko does go down, but they don't get meat squeeze, and it's just going to be a 1-0, but getting flashes out from bot side.
Come to bot lane, 600 gold.
Action going on.
Yeah,
yeah.
Everybody come to bot lane. See if the Yasuo would have come down as well there. Although he was pushed on the towers. Oh, he's just gonna run them down.
But he might just be found out as Ignite. Oh, he's trading 1-for-1, but the shutdown goes over for the side of Tristana here. Good job for Lunson.
Yeah, I was saying before about looking at the Yasuo. Never mind. Go for the Tristana.
Trading more flashes on more kills. It's fine.
Yeah, just keep going. Just keep going bot lane. Keep getting this Tristana more and more fed.
Yeah, and like we have not seen a lot of mistakes from Lunson and Requiem, and it has mostly just been because we've seen that it's a bit awkward playing Gragas bot lane. Because it's so different from any other role for Gragas. Like, you can play the AP mid and the AP kind of bruisery build in the jungle, and the tank top lane. But the support variation, it's just so different. You have to deal with 2 people now.
Yeah, I think we just had a disconnect.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we can just keep this talk going with Gragas as we are hoping they can stop the DC as soon as possible.
We now have a moment to just breathe.
Yeah, like just having Requiem being a bit more uncomfortable because it's not a champion that's meant to go bot lane is definitely like the only thing that's been hurting because his performance has been solid. Lunson's performance has been solid. They just made that one tiny key mistake that just makes it just look like it's really bad. Because they're still massively ahead. But the goal leaders evened out because of Klepto and Drake and so on. And like the sums aren't actually going entirely in favor of them. Which is sad.
I think Kleptomancy here is the MVP of this game so far is Kleptomancy. The amount of gold generated for this Kayle, generated for this Ezreal, equalizing this gold lead. Which, at the moment, it should be quite heavily in Isacasta Grande's side. And I agree with what you were saying. Lunson and Requiem have been playing really, really well this game so far. Well, for example, that bot play there, even though obviously Olaf managed to come in and get the trade, that's still a shutdown onto the Tristana. That's a shutdown onto one of your 2 main carries, and your other carry in the Yasuo is still sitting 2-0. Like, it's looking very, very good.
I thought he was about to run top lane against this Kayle trying to look for another kill. On all this up.
Maybe 3-0. Who knows? We'll find out after the but I think it's looking very, very, very good for
a killer minute, just regular stuff.
It's looking like this series is going to be as exciting as we thought it would be.
Yeah, and we might also see like the neutral objectives going down. We've of course already seen an Infernal, but Herald is up, Cloud is up, and we see the Yasuo on top side. I'm a bit confused why Purple Wizard is going bot side. I guess Lunson and Requiem believe they can get priority for Drake, and they might be looking for that as well. maybe picking up 2 objectives, but I don't know if they can clear vision around it in time because they see meat squeeze and insta climb, as well as RoboX currently having mid prio might just be able to stop them from getting that. So it should just be Purple Wizard farming up in bot side.
Yeah, I
And
think now
then
that okay.
the call should be held, right?
Yeah, they should. I think Iker Casagrande should really go for the Herald here. Try and get a pick onto the Kayle, or because Flash is still down on the Kayle, TP is just coming back up. But if you can get a pick on the Kayle here, convert it into Herald. Plates are still up. You don't have much time on the plates left, but plates are still up. Try and get that Herald top. Try and force down this top tower. And then you can open up the whole map. Let this Ornn start roaming down to the mid lane, and therefore, or roaming towards the bot lane. And basically, you want to take these 2 outer towers. You want to take the 2 side lane outer towers to try and open up this map and put a lot more pressure on the side of ULM. Because then they've got to start managing them side lane waves because they will be constantly pushing towards their inner tier 2. Where then you can convert on the mid lane, try and force down the mid tier 1. And then at that point, you have fully opened up the map. And if you've managed to lose no towers while doing that, you're in the prime position then for Baron setup around that 18-19 minute mark.
Yeah. And definitely, like we did talk about ECAS being the more kill aggressive. Like these guys can set the pickups and then get like every objective because they have Tristan and Yasuo. But when it comes to just straight up sieging, Ezreal, Corki, Kayle are way better at it.
Yeah.
These champions can just do it from a range, and they only have Tristan on the other side to actually do it safely. So these guys actually need to get the picks for actually getting any objectives, and that's what they've been struggling with. After they get the pick, they don't get the objective. So we need them to kind of in like the next 5 minutes at least get the a few of the outer turrets so they can actually start snowballing the game, because else this Kleptomancy on Kayle and Ezreal might actually just start picking up.
Yeah, because if we look towards the late game, I've got to give ULM the advantage here. Having a Kayle, having a Corki, basically having 2 marksmen and a Kayle a champion that's entire kit is based around their late game state.
Yeah.
They have got to have the advantage here. But if the wombo combo can be utilized by Iker Casagrande with the Ornn, the Grag Assault, Talia, knock up and wall, with the Yasuo and the Tristana, they can quite easily win team fights. It will come down to, can they execute that wombo combo like consistently, and can they pick the fights they know they will win. But I'm really, really excited now for the next 10-20 minutes of this game.
Yeah, definitely. As we are getting into the game again, Ornn already being popped. The knockup is coming in.
Yeah,
but
so it
Uzimat
wasn't
is not
actually in
ready. It's way
range.
too premature. Uzimat flashes in but doesn't even get the ult off. Renegade, what are you doing? The setup was perfect.
And he's actually spotted on vision in this ward, and I think Kayle's actually going to stop him. The Olaf's roaming up.
Yeah, oh my god.
He has no
flash.
He may be able to get out though.
I think they were just watching the stream. That was why it took so long for them to resume. They had to hear where Uzimat was. We spoiled it for them. Yeah, but just a very big misplay by Renegade as well as Uzimat here, thinking he could flash in range. But
Yeah,
mostly on Renegade for doing it prematurely. We all know that feeling, boys. This is gonna be cause a huge. That's his Herald gone already, and a flash down on Yasuo, which is insanely important.
Yeah, you need the flash on the Yasuo, just in case he ends up going into any of them bad spots. Corki now actually has a package, so I'd like Corki to move down towards the spot lane again. We've already seen Corki do it quite a bit in this game, and because now Corki's at a point where they will have mid pressure on the Yasuo, as we just saw. That's like 2/3 of Yasuo's HP gone with the Corki poke.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Corki move down with the package and try and secure this Cloud Drake.
Potentially didn't see that.
Yeah. The package is just used mid. Oh.
Might have just timed out. I don't know about that one.
Yeah, it's a very short time on the Corki.
Yeah, we see the priority for Drake here and Butter. That should both fall in the side of ECAS, so they are getting something back. But it's mostly like the slow response on getting climb back bot lane as well as for Rieko, more so than it's just them finding stuff.
Yeah, but because of that Yasuo play before with the
Yeah.
flash being burnt, they actually
might be
converted
moving for
that
bot
into a
lane here.
herald.
Lunson already spotting. Oh, and that's Requiem getting good body slam out, just picking up a nice kill on Zaborieko here. Where Purple Wizards using the wall, but that's not the biggest cooldown in the game. They might be trading top lane turret with Herald already popped, so now they need to send Renegade up to defend. Oh, they
Yeah,
might
it's
be looking for mid. Requiem uses the big barrel, doesn't connect.
Herald has actually been used on that top side now, so they could go for a charge back down onto the tier 2.
Yeah, and does
It is
seem like
only
it's
on
gonna
defending
get
at the moment, but the rest of Casa Grande
Oh.
are actually roaming up. And that is still a lot of Ornn damage. You've got to respect the Ornn passive. It does
Yeah.
do a lot. But they did get the charge off on the tier 2.
Okay, Renegade finally got level 10. I was just about to say, he does fine, but it's still level 9 on versus a level 11 Gale.
Yeah.
Like, she's ranged as well as having those empowered auto attacks after 5 hits now. She's beginning to
Yeah.
get scary in my opinion.
It's like you want to get more XP onto this Ornn, but you want them items. You want upgraded Infinity Edge for both Tristana and Yasuo,
Yeah.
and you want to get them ASAP.
Yeah, and I also would like to say that Kayle is currently really close to her biggest power spike of the game. When she get that second item at level 11, that's her biggest power spike. She's still great in late game, but it's her level 11 where she's ranged and can increase her auto if she's in a big fight. And she can 1v1 almost any champion in a
Yeah,
side lane.
so look at the damage already going down onto the Ornn. Now Tristana and Gragas being moved mid. The Yasuo going top side. Iker Casagrande now starting to split apart this map, applying pressure everywhere. The Corki having to go up to answer the Yasuo, which isn't the worst thing for the Corki. And mid, just the Nautilus Ezreal just gonna have to sit and watch Tristana push it
Oh
away.
my,
That
as
is
they're
actually-
looking for Mo is monkey down in the bot lane here. As she
Nice
does
flash.
flash out, Renegade really low. It's the climb coming in. Might take out Renegade. Just one auto away. Yeah, lightning comes down as the flash goes in. Purple Wizard is trying to get them back. Yeah, no, Ragnarok onto it's the climb anymore. The teleport is being
And there's a
channeled by
reset.
Robox, but Luton just flashing in there. Borieko's flash ult didn't connect here in time. Requiem flashing out as well. Oh,
the
Uzi gets
Yasuo!
rolled off the explosive cast. They're turning it around. They might be going for ace. And all this is stopwatching, but here comes the wall. Robo X, he's caught out, and it's a ace for 2.
And
Ooh.
Baron isn't yet spawned. This is going to be converted into at least a bot tier 2 tower. Yasuo going towards the mid lane to push that in and try and secure the mid lane tier 1. And what a team fight. Only the Gragas going down for the side of Iker Casagrande. The gold lead now going up to 2.4k for them. A bot tier 2 tower falling, which is key when you're looking towards Baron setup. Because you're going to have to stick somebody down in that bot lane. And only the Ezreal will have TP up by the time the Baron's up. Because both the Corki and the Kayle, well, Kayle used it that fight or just before that fight. And
Yeah.
same with the Corki.
Yeah, Chaos just used the TP and Kogi used it during the fight. Like, this was really, really bad for the side of ULM. They get caught out, they turn it around with the Olaf, but then they suddenly get even more turned around on with the rest of the Ikas Branda squad already being able to rotate. And
Yeah.
it's just, they get a kill over to both Robox and Climb, but on the other side, we just see Uzi, Mad, Lunson, Purple Wizard, and Raccoona getting all the kills. Like, we don't get anything onto Renegade, who's arguably the one who leads the least, which is key. Like, we don't really think that It's a Climb is gonna need the kills anyway. So it's like almost just an insane amount of gold difference now, especially because we already saw a big gold difference in some of the lanes, and now it's being evened out in quite a few of them. Even seeing Uzimat here, now getting really close to RoboX.
Yeah, the Yasuo can now put pressure on this Kayle, sitting at 1.5 items with the 90% crit off with that Cloak of Agility. And as you can see now, if you look at the top side river, it's blue vision everywhere. They're looking to set up for this early Baron because they know they're stronger now. You've got a 5-1 Tristana, a 4-0 Yasuo, and you've got a wombo combo of knockups that can enable these champions. Your all-in is amazing. You just need to watch out for the Corki
Okay,
pass.
Borrico might have
And
been
here
off
they
a bit of
go.
a Shureku and the Ornhorn coming in here. Uzimat already ulted. The wall is coming down. There's no flash on the Kale. Has to ult, but she's caught. There's no way out. She will fall down. Will they keep extending? No, they won't. They take the 2, they get the Drake. That's the style of the mid game of ECAS Grande.
Mo actually survived for a surprising amount of time there with the KO, and even after it was gone.
Yeah, fun and interactive. But no, like, this is why ECAS Grande is the best mid-game team in the whole of Division 2. You can say that some holes in their early and late game that could be better, but their mid-game is undoubtedly unchallenged. Their map awareness as well as rotation-wise are just some of the greatest we've seen in Division 2, and we just put them on display when everyone lands their skill shots, everyone's on the same page, and they are all extremely aggressive players. These
Yeah,
guys just make the opportunities.
I think especially now that Ezreal has burnt his TPing to the mid tier 2 tower, they should just look for a fight around Baron. Maybe wait for the Ornn ult to be up, but once you have that Ornn ult or the Gragas cask,
Yeah.
go for the Baron because they can't stop you. Unless it's a perfect team fight and they manage to get the catch onto either Yasuo or Tristana, they cannot stop you in the next at least 5 minutes. And
Yeah.
although they have reclaimed some vision in the bot river, they've not got full control. With Tuya just clearing the blue buff, I honestly think Icacasta Grande here just want to look towards it. And Ornn sitting in that bot lane isn't the worst idea. He has the TP. The only TP that's up in the game because there's none on the side of ULM here.
Yeah.
And they're actually starting to look towards it now.
Oh, the Purple Wizard might just be spotted out. Oh! Borrico
the
just
dredge
missing
line
the
nearly
hook.
yeah.
Oh, but
he's
Reku is
caught
on
out.
the back. Oh my god.
Right, and that's a Baron.
Yeah,
That's
this is just what we've seen. Like, Lunson and Reku have just been playing this game so incredibly well. Uzimat, of course, have been contributing massively, but it's this bot lane really carrying. Purple Wizard, Renegade, great job still. Like, these guys are the supportive players that are making sure they're relevant in all times of the game. But with this bot lane, you don't really even need that.
here you
First
go.
cast going down, RoboX already being chunked out, flashing by Yasuo. Still on the turret though. Can they get out? Oh my, meat squeeze almost going down in the exchange as well. That was a 1 for 0 and they might just get the turret here.
Yeah, I think they won't get the turret now because the Tristana was chunked out by the tower because of the explosion on their explosive charge. It did damage one of the champions. They ended up tanking 2 tower shots. And now the Baron is basically even freer than it was before. You're getting up to nearly a 6k gold lead now. Scuttle taken, so you have that consistent vision on the Baron. And all vision being cleared out, although you do see the jungle support from ULM coming to put some vision down. But they can't contest. Like, ULM are in such a bad spot at this point in the game. Even though the Corki is quite strong, being 3-3 and having auto farm, with the Trinity Force and the Rapid Fire Cannon being active, I just think, really, the Icacasta Grande doesn't have full control over this topside map. And Ornn still has TP. Ornn did not need to TP in for that fight. So they should just try and start up the Baron after mid-wave's pushed in, which it does look like they might be going to do.
Yeah, and the big thing is that the Kale wasn't in that fight. If you trade the Ornn for the Kale, you're basically losing CC for like the main defensive force in the Kale. So they don't have any defensive forces, they can't check the Baron, and this just means that ECAS just have an uncontested Baron here. Yeah, they might be spotting out, but if they can just stop Climb from getting into the pit like this, they will just pick him up.
Yeah.
Crowd control combo, just using all their ults just to get him. But who cares? They got a Baron now, and what do they get in return for ULM? Just bot lane here.
Yeah, they get bot lane tier 1, so it's not even that valuable tower. Once you get past turret, once you get turret plates falling down, the tier 1 towers are so squishy, they really don't do a lot for you. And if we actually look now, the Yasuo now has the upgraded IE. So not only are they ahead, they are getting free gold from this Ornn.
Yeah.
They should look for the inhibitor here.
Yeah, this just proves Uzi can play more than Lissandra. It's just, that's what he will go if you guys don't fucking respect him.
Yeah.
You have to respect him, else you can't force him onto it. And they will just pour resources into him because Uzimat can easily be a carry for this squad. Like, every single player on this squad can carry. It's just about figuring out who's gonna do it for this exact game. This game, Uzimat and Lunson has gotten the priority. They have both done an amazing game. Requiem have been setting up for both of them amazingly. Purple Wiz and Renegade are sitting in the background, making sure having the utility as well as enough damage to follow up. Just great for this squad, and they just know what their ideas is for every single comp they're playing.
Yeah, and we've got to give a shout out to Renograd. We've got, like, if we look at the CS, 144 CS on the Ornn, but he's not there to do the damage. He is an ult machine, and his passive is like one of the main reasons you have the Ornn in this comp. He has sacrificed CS and experience just to help the two carries here. In Uzi
Oh,
Man.
we're
Just
going in,
again.
flashing in. Can we get the explosive? No, it's too late. It's gonna get RoboX just in the safe range with the flash. Flash for flash, but that's RoboX's flash down. Now they have one main flash down that they need to be careful about. The Ezreal doesn't do much damage with only the Muramana I spawn yet. So
Yeah, it's like
it's
the
just
Corki is the main carry threat here.
yeah, and Kale of course, but they're all just being able to be putting it onto the Corki if needed.
Yeah.
Oh, but he might be caught out here. Meat Squeeze trying to poke in from the side, but doesn't really do anything. Alright, we're going in aggressive.
I think they do need to be careful here. The poke from the side of ULM is still very good.
They could have one bot lane here because their top lane is already pushing into their base.
Yeah, I think the Toy is starting to head down there, down that way now.
Lunson clearing out, mate, just to make sure.
Although I think the bot lane's bot lane wave may, yeah, it's basically cleared by the time they get there.
Yeah, both
With the
teams just
level
realized bot lanes also exist. It's not just run it down mid lane like we'd like it down in silver.
Yeah. Looking a lot like one of the solo queue games when everybody's in mid lane.
Yeah, because that's the only lane that exists. We can't just have somebody split push because then we would rather want to die.
Yeah, because then we have to fight.
Yeah. 4v5, that's the only way, acceptable way to win, as that Yasuo Q did a lot. But the
Yeah,
Yasuo's
Nautilus
actually
is getting chunked out.
Yeah.
And that's, well,
Well,
that
they
is
might
one
just
of the
get the
tankiest
hit.
menus.
Oh wait, the Ragnarok going in. Lunson already used his flash, but Climb can't really get anything. Oh,
Yasuo goes in.
He all did.
Look at
Me, it's almost falling down here, but it should. Nautilus also flashes out just in time. Every flash just being blown, but Mox Monkey actually goes out, so it is actually going to be one forward. They can finally open this mid lane.
Yeah, they can finally open up this mid lane inhibitor, and
And it
then
should
just
be bot
convert it into a bot lane inhibitor as well. The wave's
That's
being
free
pushed
inhibs.
in. That is free inhibs at 27 minutes. We've got Cloud Drake spawn in 2
Yeah,
minutes
one last
50,
flash.
Baron up in 2 minutes. I think one more Baron and the game's over.
I don't even think they need Baron. They have 3 inhibs down. They might just be able to end. One back, and they
yeah.
should just have enough gold as well as resources with the 3 minion waves to just close it out cleanly.
Yeah, because of the way this Ezreal's itemized with the Iceborne Gauntlet into Muramana, he doesn't do a lot of damage at the moment. The Iceborne Gauntlet does give him some tanky stats, but if you saw in the last team fight, he nearly got 100-0 by Yasuo.
Yeah, just the disgusting amount of knockups you have to dodge to get this team even like closely to be out of resources is insane.
You've got the Olaf sitting on the front line. Pops ult, a knock-up hits him. Oh, this knock-up does nothing. Turns around, Yasuo's in his team. One-shot everybody. It's just... There's so much... Because they went so all-in with the... Oh, everybody can knock up. Because you've got Tristana ult can knock up if it hits other members after the first. Talia, obviously, you've got the W, which knocks up Ornn ult, Gragas ult, Gragas body slam. There's so much stuff you have to dodge that if you don't, Yasuo will just kill you.
Yeah, and that's just why we're praising them so much, because not only is it their mid game, it's their teamwork. Like, these guys' teamwork is insane. They know exactly what each other is thinking, and they layer the CC perfectly. The Ornn ult into the Gragas ult into the Yasuo ult. They have the CC down to the T, and they know exactly how to utilize it, as they will just close it out here. They're going on to the first turret here. Oh, the Ornn ult coming in. Wait, Yasuo's deep. Yasuo's really deep. Can he actually
Look at the
survive?
healing!
Okay, they got 2 already.
By Corki.
No, actually, Yasuo goes down. This time it's Borieko. He might just fall down to Tristana here. Can they get the last Nexus turret? Yeah, they can. Will they just go for the Nexus, or will they go for kills? Lunson just seems to be going for Ezreal here. Oh, but Roblox
Corki
picks
pops
up
him.
Lunson.
I don't think they can actually end here.
Can he
Wait,
get
no,
Renegade? He does. Rekko is the only one alive. But Nexus, it's solo. Minions. Oh, Roblox almost falling down. Rekko,
Minions!
one attack.
Also the Nexus!
Expect no!
Oh no!
The nicest.
What's
play
your auto?
Pussy Mat by doing Larson, just running it down. Oh my
Oh,
god,
wait!
one point!
The Super
Dark
Minions!
Indians loses the game.
The Super Minions.
And the real MVP is Super Minion. The best. The only. I would hire that guy as my ADC, to be honest.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's like that Cloud9 post from last year's Worlds. Well,
Yeah.
welcome new Cloud9 member. It's his blue buff.
Yeah, hell yeah. Oh, but what an interesting game. And just, we have to realize, Ezreal and Corki did most damage that game, just period. And they still
Yeah.
got absolutely destroyed by the Yasuo and Tristana, who by themselves didn't even do like that much more than just the KO. So it's not even because of the damage, it's because of how they utilize damage. It's not just about that 1k they didn't lane, 2k they didn't lane, who cares? It's about getting the kills, getting the objectives, and just rotating as a team. This team knew it all, and in this 30-minute series, there was a bloodbath, and they really showed off the stuff.
Yeah, but it never really felt like Eka Casagrande were behind. Even though when we do look at the damage graph, there is a bit of a discrepancy in the damage. They always felt like they were in full control of the game. Because of the way of their mid game, how clean it was. Like I was saying, converting into the 3 outer towers going down first, and even because of the early ace in the bot lane, the tier 2 tower going down on the bot side, because of the way they rotated and their whole mid game, it was beautiful to watch because they just completely snowballed that game. It didn't feel like ULM had a chance when it came to like 20 minutes after the first Baron. It's just because of the way they executed the team fights was amazing. Because of the damage from the Tristana, the damage from the Yasuo, it was very, very well played.
Yeah, and in this era of just having split pushes all the time in almost every single game, you just get to realize that the team fights that actually decide the game are way earlier than you realize. Like, they're about the 20-minute mark, not the 40-minute mark like they used to. And
Yeah.
just one of these fights gives such a huge swing in momentum that it's just insane. You won't even see it on the goal of damage charts. It's just suddenly, now everything is gone. You need to set up everything back on scratch, and that's almost impossible with a team like ECAS that just takes over and doesn't give any room to breathe.
Yeah, it's like, because you lose one of them fights, and when you lose one of them fights, it shakes your confidence in the game for a minute, because you're like, wait, do I actually win these fights? And then you have to reevaluate it all, go back onto the map, start setting up, what you were saying, the basics, vision. You need a lot of vision in order to get away from, for example, the blind Ornn horns. Like, you don't want to be Ornn ulted out of vision, and then Yasuo is on top of you, and then you're dead. So because of the momentum of winning one of these fights, it starts to snowball the game just because of the momentum. And one last thing I will say on the last game, before I think we go for a break, is because this is the first game in what is going to be quite an exciting series, the momentum is now in Icastagrande's court. They have the momentum going into the other games. They dissected ULM there, cut them apart, and just managed to snowball a game perfectly or brilliantly. I'm very, very excited for the rest of the series.
Yeah, and we will be looking towards game 2 of this series with ECAS Bund, of course, taking the first one. And we will be back. I have been Nicholas, joined here by my great colorcaster here, JFT, doing an amazing job. And we hope that you will tune in for game 2 of this best of 3.
The night beckons while you dream. A life never lives in peace.
Hello and welcome back to the Serenity Gaming Autumn Split. As we are joined in Division 2, I am your PvP caster Nicholas, joined here today by co-caster JFT as we are in the series between Ikasbrand Esport and ULM Gaming. As it's currently 1-0 for Ikas, JFT, take us through what happened in that game.
What happened in that game? I think ULM got dissected post 10 minutes. When he got into that mid game, Icasta Brande just managed to snowball the game really, really well. Basically making it so it didn't feel like ULM could make that comeback because of the control they had over the map. Catching out people in the side lanes when they overpush. As we actually head straight into Champ Select, I think.
Yeah, we're going into
Yeah.
Champions Select now. We're just getting the show on the roll after such an impactful game. I think both teams are just eager to show each other up, especially
Yeah.
after it went good. Like it was pretty even, as you say, up to that 10-minute mark, and then once we hit like the level 9, then everything went just. I want to say to shit for ULM. Ika's just rolling over with ult after ult, and just nothing going in favor of ULM anymore.
Yeah, it seemed like that. But I think ULM might try and change the style they played. They went for scaling, it didn't work. They put all their eggs in one basket. They wanted to get to 40 minutes. They had the Kale, they had the Corki. Already we're seeing the same bans that we saw last time, though. The Ari and the Echo. I mean, oh, and there's the Yasuo. There's the respect ban going over to Uzi. They don't want to see that Yasuo back in this game because last game it was disgusting. I
Yeah, and
don't
of
think.
course, there was the other factors of all of his players playing good around him. But
Yeah.
if you just remove the Yasuo, then suddenly every other pick combined with it falls in priority.
But now the Zyra or the Kai'Sa will be left left up.
They might just be both up, so they get one for sure.
They get one each, yeah.
Yep.
I'm interested to see what they actually go here. Wait,
It is
that
actually.
is actually a Nani.
Oh, wait. It's Saya. It's Saya.
It's Zaya. All right,
Yeah.
it's Nani. No, it's
Yeah.
not Nani. It's Zaya.
Yeah.
It's Zaya.
We do have the placeholders here. Not everybody has every champion. We have to respect that. As Kaiser Nautilus does
Yeah.
get locked in, probably the premier bot lane, if not for Saya Kaiser. Oh no, Saya Rakan. I mean, double ADC is not a me. Senna exists.
Yeah, as we do see a very powerful bot lane here in the side of Kaiser Nautilus, just because Nautilus has so many ways to proc Kaiser's passive, and that is the main source of their damage early. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something like the Fresh over. Fresh Zaya is also a very strong combination, and I think that could be a very good pickup into the Nautilus since you can flay the Nautilus away. We're just going to see the Jarvan and Orianna, which is a very strong mid 2v2 here for the side of ULM.
Yeah, and it's just comfort. It's the Climb and Roblox played this very well in the last few times, and it has been just a good fallback for them. I do think it works very well with Desire, but against Kaiser Nautilus, I'm kind of questioning the viability of it. They might be challenged very heavily, so they will have to be very creative when it comes to as the honest lock back in for Renegade, most likely. It could be flexed, but let's be honest, Renegade played an amazing on, and he knows how to work his way around that champion.
It's like he is the unsung hero of that last game. The amount of stuff he gave up to enable his carries. He played very, very well in that last game, and I'm really, really glad they put him on the Ornn again because he played a really, really good Ornn game, and because of the extra gold that he gave with his items, he generated a lot of value. We see the Morgana ban and the Lissandra ban here. I think the Morgana ban's very good into the Nautilus. Obviously, you have the Black Shield that can stop a lot of Nautilus's combo. And Lissandra's just a respect picked over to the side of Uzi.
Yeah,
and the Rakan ban just to get away of the Zyra Khan. There's been a lot of support bans thrown in this game, especially from the side of Icasta Grande with the Pike, the Morgana, the Rakan, all going off the table. So I'd actually interested to see something, maybe an Alistair here, maybe a Braum.
I would almost certainly say it's going to be fresh for Borieko, but of
Fresh,
course,
yeah.
as you've been talking, Alistair Braum is of course the more safe option. I just think Borieko is way more suited to the hook support, and he really wants to prove himself after the last game didn't go as well with everybody dodging at the bare minimum.
Yeah, I think, like I was saying before, a fresh support would actually be very, very good here because obviously you can fly the Nautilus away, so you still have that safety. You still have the Lantern. You have the classic meme of ADCs don't take the Lantern,
Oh,
but that's the Vladimir mid. So you don't really want to scale in this game, because if you hit late game, that Vladimir can 1v5.
you know what the real scary thing is though?
What's that?
Renegade can also play it. These guys can flex Vladimir,
Ooh.
and that means on jungle is still a possibility.
Oh,
They
it is.
can actually hold on it if they really want to, but it is fresh coming in. This is like the premier comp that these guys like, and they're looking just for the Aatrox to round it out, really getting a good matchup into the on. I'm a bit surprised they didn't go for the Fiora, but they are going more team fight focused. They want to see if they can out team fight ECAS, which is going to be a huge task given the last game.
Yeah, it's like Aatrox is still a comfort pick from out here, so very much comfort on the
I think
side
it's Purple
of
Wizard
ULM.
here, right? It should be a jungle pick. Like that's the most safe.
Yeah, it should be the jungle pick here for the side of
Oh yes, there it is. And this is Purple Wizard's specialty. Playing Nidalee into Jarvan, you won't believe the kind of power he can do by early tracking.
And here,
Yeah.
and we're just going back
Remaking
to
currently.
remaking so that everybody has their correct champions.
Yep.
And I'm looking at these drafts. I think ULM have gone for complete comfort here. Really, they've gone for the team fight. They've gone for the comfort. And after last game, out of the way, after the way that Icasta Grande actually managed to basically snowball the game because of team fights and the way they out team fighted ULM, execution again is critical. It's quite an easy comp to execute because of the Jarvan, because of the Orianna. So because all you have to do is stick the Orianna orb on the Jarvan when he goes in, you get the shockwave, everybody's trapped together in the cataclysm.
Yeah.
But I think they still need to be careful, because although their comp doesn't go online super early, the mid game is quite a good point. 2 to 3 items on the Xayah. You can't leave till late game, because Ornn, Vladimir, Kai'Sa, there's so much scaling, and even with the Nidalee, the one-shot potential of the Nidalee in the late game onto something like the Xayah, they need to be careful. And,
Definitely do.
and
We're just slowly getting into Champions League. But I also do think we've just characterized both teams by now.
yeah.
Like we have seen ULM. They play a lot of different standard styles, but they're all standard. We don't see them going for anything crazy like Kiana top. Thank you, Honey, for showing me the light. But
yeah.
we see on the other side, they are willing to be taking risks from ECAS. They're willing to take a pick that is normally not seen as the norm for either their position or just in general for competitive. And they will make sure that pick works for them. They know exactly how to build around it and play around it, as well as just having complete faith that the person will play up to par on that champion.
And all we have to do to show that is look at the last game. The comp they built was very unconventional, basically entirely knockup based, and the way they knew exactly how to execute. They had clearly planned that team and they had practiced that team, because the execution of them team fights were perfect. So I've got very, very high hopes / expectations for Icasta Grande in this team, because of the way they team fighted last time. It was an amazing thing to watch. And I would actually like to ask, what is your prediction for this game? Who do you think from the draft is going to win this game?
I mean, you know I'm biased. I gotta say, even if I didn't look at draft, I know who I'll be voting for. But the one factor that really, really stands out to me here is Vladimir into a complete collapse comp. You don't
Yeah.
collapse onto Vladimir.
He
He's
just
not locked in
pulls
there
away.
with you. You're locked in there with him. Y'all will
Yeah.
soon find out why you can't cataclysm in a game with Vladimir. But no, seriously, like Ornn's E alone is a big counter to Cataclysm. If you ever try and Cataclysm onto Ornn and one more member, it's actually almost just a waste of your entire team comp.
Yeah, doesn't the Ornn break the Cataclysm with his
Yeah,
E?
it takes still like a long time compared. It's like an entire second delay or something. But with Nidalee, Vladimir, Kai'Sa, and Nautilus, these guys they are really hard to get Cataclysm Oriolted or
Yeah.
even like hooked. These guys won't just be landed by random CC. These guys aren't just your typical solo queue ADC players in every role. Nah, seriously, these guys they're between D4 and D1, and that's the spot where they all know how to stop ending past the 15-minute mark.
Yeah.
And I say that as a general concern because nobody can stop ending prior to 15 minutes. We've figured that out thanks to Worlds.
Yeah, you can look at Worlds and you can see examples of
Yeah,
people ending before 15 minutes.
yeah. The tracking just isn't great enough. No jungler can just tell his entire team where the jungler is effectively enough. So having the expectation that it's just gonna be a bloodless game, except for by pros, it isn't gonna happen. But when it actually hits the 15 minutes mark, you know that these teams, especially ECAST here, they won't just be caught out. They will actually know when you're supposed to rotate. They will set up the vision and make sure you can't ever get anything out with the Jarvan Ori or the Fresh.
Yeah, it's like you really need to be careful going into this mid lane if you are the side of ULM because of how proactive Icasa Grande are. They will catch you out if you're caught somewhere in the jungle. They will catch you out. They have vision all over the your side of the map, and they will know where you are. I'm actually gonna go and predict ULM here. They're on their comfort champions, and I'm
Yeah,
hoping for. I've got big things I'm hoping for from ULM this game. I want to see this amazing Orianna, Jarvan, Cataclysm. As long as it's
yeah.
not into Ornn or Vladimir, Kai'Sa can ult out of. Oh wait. Oh no. Oh no, it's not looking good.
Yeah, like I'm gonna say you're completely right. ULM is uncomfort. They know exactly how to play this comp. What I'm most interested in seeing is a jungle matchup here because
Yeah.
these junglers have to realize exactly what their game plans are. Nidalee's game plan is make sure Jarvan doesn't have a life. That's always been Purple Wizard's plan. Be the better jungler by just making sure the enemy jungler looks bad in comparison.
Yeah, and if you can get the this team through that early game, get into
Yeah,
the mid game, get Vladimir get him onto like the proto belt and a death cap.
exactly.
Have Ornn upgrade his death cap as the first thing he upgrades. That Vladimir's sitting pretty. He'll have so much AP. His team fighting
Oh yeah,
power will be
upgrade that cap.
amazing.
Oof.
And even when you look down towards the bottom lane, Xayah Fresh versus Kai'Sa Nautilus, both are very, very strong 2v2 lanes because you've got this perma CC you can have with the side of the Xayah Fresh. You've got the Fresh hook into Fresh Flay, into Xayah root, and on the other side, because of the amount of Kai'Sa's passive that can be propped by the Nautilus, the amount of damage you can get off from that passive, especially if Kai'Sa hits her Void Seeker, it can literally 100-0 somebody with press the attack, which is the runestone they've gone for. Both AD carries going for heal. This is going to be a
Yes.
fighting lane.
Yeah, it definitely is. And just as we are heading into the game, I would like to thank all of you for tuning in. And we are so excited to be able to cast for you today, as you always are so supportive of us. And we also want to thank our sponsors, Hungry.dk, Streamboss, Forbes Summerland, and Trikas Esport for helping us making this possible. Just making sure that this autumn split can be as great as we can possibly give you. And we hope you enjoy, as these teams are heading into the game 2 of this best of 3 series. And we believe this is going to be a bloody one.
Yeah, this is going to be a very bloody one
Yeah,
going
and
into this game.
I think it is a lot up to its decline. Like we might not have hyped him up during any of this, but it's really up to his Jarvan to really get this going. He is the entire team's right hand here. He needs to
Yeah.
be the one to either make sure he can get a Vladimir dead in lane. That's gonna be a challenge, or he needs to somehow get a Borrieko and Meat Squeeze online.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we no, please continue. How
Right.
does he get these two online?
How does it get to this? It's that before we went into game one, I actually spoke about how I think both these teams are going to have a very aggressive bot lane. It's like we can even just look back at game one and the way that they actually played game one. It was through getting that bot lane ahead, and therefore going before, because the Tristana got ahead and because the Yasuo got ahead, this game was able to snowball from there. And that was because of all of the Taliyah ganks down towards the bot lane. Now, if It's a Climb and his Jarvan can actually neutralize the Nidalee here, if Nidalee goes for a gank bot lane, they can actually neutralize it, especially in the early levels where the Jarvan is actually more powerful than the Nidalee, the levels 1 to 3. Can go for example, a level 2 gank onto the Kai'Sa Nautilus would actually work very, very well for them here.
And we do see 1 to 3, but of course that level 3 for Nidalee is a huge spike, and that's when Purple Wizard likes to go on the hunt. As It's the Climb has gone for the Electrocute. That's something I always question on Jarvan, because I do still prefer the Conqueror given the early game, and especially given that I don't want Purple Wizard to prove that he's the better jungler. So I'm a bit interested to seeing if Purple Wizard gets to punish. That was what he did last time I saw him in the Nidalee in the last game I casted with him. So if he can really just find It's the Climb, he wins. If It's the Climb can somehow get past Purple Wizard and still get bot lane ahead, he wins. This is gonna be entirely jungle based, but with all lanes having a possible matchup winning, and this could go either way as it's 1-0 for ECAS and we are about to head into the game.
Yeah, we're about. I'm actually very excited to see how this jungle matchup comes out. We will know in this game who is the better jungler by the end of it, because of how much this game is going to be dictated by the junglers here. I think the Aatrox into the Ornn is, even though we've not really touched on it a lot, because a lot of the action was down towards the bot side of the map last game. We're expecting it to be down towards the bot side of the map this game because of how explosive these bot lanes are. But I think the Aatrox going into the Ornn is basically just a free farm lane for the Aatrox, unless he can get pressured out by the Ornn in the early levels. Because a lot of things that surprise low elo top laners, and even though these are not low elo top laners, these are mid to high diamond, so they will know how to play into an Ornn as an Aatrox. But what happens in lower elos is that the Ornn passive damage can actually be very surprising, but Mo will know about the passive damage, and that's why I think Aatrox should be sitting pretty in this lane. And if It's a Climb, if he can't get down to that bot side, he can always look towards Mo as a carry. The Aatrox can carry in team fights if he gets onto the backline, gets onto the Kai'Sa, gets onto the Vlad, even though Vlad is very, very difficult to collapse onto. But a fed Aatrox is still a scary champion, even with the amount of times his ults have been nerfed.
Yeah, and you heard it here. ULM on their most confident comp of all. As well, we see here ECAS about to play spoiler and really just cracking their Psycho open with after we are through this brief
Yeah.
delay, as we do have 1 DC, but definitely they've drafted a comp that really does a good counter, and now we're gonna see exactly why Purple Wizard really can just be just as much of a carry as his laners. And this is just gonna be, is the comfort the most important thing, or is it the innovation of just individual performers that can really just improve the game to such a different level as we've seen so many times in the past by G2 at least.
Yeah, and I think this game is even more important because if you think about it, Casa Grande, if they win this game, they go into sole ownership of first place. They are joint first at the moment, 10 points with 2 other teams. They win this game, they go up into first place, and then they're just looking to next week to try and secure that bye in playoffs, which it will be so important. Just going into playoffs, it makes it so much easier for a team. Yes, we do just see a slight delay here. We could
both solo lanes have gone for TP this game. We did see like a lot of TP discrepancy last game. This is a bit more evenly shared. Does also mean that both top and mid doesn't exactly look for any insane things in the early game. We might have seen that in the past as we are getting closer and closer to the game. Where do you think they are gonna like really start snowballing? Like we are usually talking about the junglers might do something level 3 and 4, but it's level 6 and 7 that the game really starts. When do you think we should like expect this game to really blow open?
I think it needs to be around that 10-minute mark again. wait for Casa Grande to get into their mid-game point, and if the game is even, or they have a slight lead, or even just a slight deficiency, I think just watch what they do. Because, as we saw last game, they knew their mid-game plan really, really well. And I think looking into this game, it could be a very similar story. But that all depends on what we see here from ULM, as now we are actually in the game.
Yeah, and both teams looking to be ready. Last time we saw Ikas going for a small little package setup, while we saw ULM go for wards. Let's see if they're gonna just do standard split now that there's Norless and Fresh in the same game.
Yeah, because you need to be very careful with these hooks. Could cause a level 1 kill, as we do see Xayah slightly behind everybody else. But I think the main spotlight on this game is going to be towards the spot lane. We do actually see the ward start from the Jarvan, so I am expecting to put a ward down and then back as they go for one now.
Oh yeah, and it's the perfect one. It's the Raptor ward. Oh,
Oh,
but gets spotted out by Purple. And he's gonna clear it. It's the extra gold over to the jungle, making sure the mid laner hits first so he can get the 10 gold.
and now there is a 10 gold lead for Casa Grande here. And actually, he's not back.
50 health lead. 50 health lead.
50 health lead. But he's actually didn't back, so he didn't actually get the sweeper. He's stuck with the yellow trinket.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be interesting. Both junglers starting on their red buff.
Yeah, which makes a lot of sense because of the discrepancy in jungle XP per side of the map at the moment, which is getting changed this preseason. But because Krugs are worth so much, a lot of junglers will just want to start down towards that red side. As actually, they might be going for a level 2 gank, but they will get spotted out on that ward, and because he doesn't have sweepers, he can't really go for that gank at the moment. Might be able to clear Krugs and go for it after. We see the Orianna getting priority mid, which isn't too surprising, but it's until Orianna runs out of mana and then the Vladimir gets the advantage. Jarvan still just taking Krugs as Nidalee's taking their red buff.
Yeah.
So the map is very
they
split at
could
the moment.
But yeah, we've seen some interesting things. Bot lane trying for a small little cheese here by Lonson and Requiem, and we see Purple Wizard starting on his Raptors. Like we're seeing a lot of interesting early game stuff in the choice of where to go, but nothing that's gonna majorly impact the game. But we might see Purple Wizard showing us some new routes. So keep an eye out, because if you want to start playing Nidalee, please don't. But like, just try and watch Purple Wizard.
Yeah, I think it would have actually been, for It's a Climate, I think he should have tried to split the map, because he knew that Nidalee was going to start on the top side, and Nidalee actually went up to Krugs. Even though there was no vision there, so they didn't actually know. If they had vision in that top side jungle, for example, if the ward that It's a Climb put on the Raptor camp was still up, and they had gone for the bot side blue buff, then they would have been able to split the map and therefore keep Nidalee away from this bot lane, which would have enabled the Jarvan to help. Would have helped try and start snowballing this Xayah.
Yeah.
But as we now see, jungles might actually be meeting over the Scuttle Crab, both on bot side.
And
Level 3 now for him for both.
Yeah, it should just be Nidalee's death.
Yeah.
Oh, as we do see Borieka going in the bot side, flash for flash so far. Lunson being out.
He's actually on the level 2.
Caught out. There's already been so many sums. Purple Wizard finally joins the fight. It's the climb. Actually goes down first.
First woods on Nidalee.
Purple Wizard, but it might just be a 2-for-1 as Requiem. Oh,
He can't move. He's minion blocked.
Go down, but he survives. Wait, but this time it's Purple Wizard getting hooked. Borieka being very low, but so is everybody else. Purple Wizard going in. He gets the second one. He's getting the third one. And it's a 3-for-2.
And this is what I was meaning. Spiciness in the bot lane this time.
Borieka and It's the Climb, they were looking for what we were talking about. But then Purple Wizard showing he knows the tracking. He's the Nidalee god.
Yeah, and because Nidalee actually started on the top side with a red buff, Nidalee had double buffs coming down back to the bot, going down into the bot lane. But I think Jarvan only actually had the blue buff. But Jarvan is actually now going on to a gank onto this Vladimir. And there's a pull. And that's why ganking Vladimir is the worst thing ever.
Yeah, but
Nidalee is topside though. I think this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this could be a
Purple
potential.
Wizard who going wide, but he might just be auto attacking down. As Blues might already, as we do see Dark Harvest coming in. As Aatrox should just back out. Uzi, does he have pool? He flashes prematurely. We haven't seen the flagging drag come down yet. It's gonna go down, and it's the climb who will pick
yeah.
up the kill, setting up
That's a
nicely
clean
mid lane
dive.
as Uzi might got a bit too scared.
Yeah, that's a very clean dive there from the side of ULM. And it's been all action so far in this game.
Yeah.
Like we predicted, as they might actually go for a return gank here topside. There is no vision in the bush, but no, he's just
Yeah.
Purple Wizard's just gonna walk into the topside jungle and probably steal away the Grom.
Yeah, it's too frozen. And yeah, as you definitely say, Vladimir just discussing champ, please ban it in your solo queue games. It's way too strong. Riot won't nerf it because one of the Rioters loves Vladimir.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. Like we have seen like Vladimir just being one of the most popular champions just because of how safe he is. But this time Uzimat just gets punished a little bit for staying way too long but low HP and getting punished for the cooldown on his pool. And it's the climb just playing it so perfectly. Even after the botched attempt down bot lane because of Purple Wizard's insane play, we still
Yeah.
see like he is calm and collected. He knows it's up to him, and he will make sure that he can get back into this game.
Yeah, he's not. They are actually sitting at a gold lead at the moment because of the small CS deficit in bot, CS deficit of well, there's barely no CS deficit in mid, but the jungle CS difference. Even though Aatrox is sitting 20 CS up now, as Jarvan's actually going for another gank box, like going for a lane gank.
Oh, we see the hook coming in here for Requiem first. As Lantern is delayed, Meat Squeeze being low,
Yeah,
but
he-
we already see Lantern with no sums. Borieko, you can't pick up anything here. So
Yes.
it's just be a 1-0. Unless, Borieko, can you find the miracle hook? Nah, it doesn't seem like
Yeah,
it.
you don't want to gank a Nautilus in the early levels or even in the late levels. It just has so much CC. And like we were saying in Champ Select, bot lane is going to be very spicy. That's a very, very nice kill picked up onto Meat Squeeze now. With Woodson actually sitting at 0-2, he's in a very unfortunate spot at the moment. If we look towards the top side of the map, it's a little less exciting than the bot side, but a massive CS advantage going the way of the Aatrox, as we knew it would be pretty much a farm lane for him. And I think Aatrox going into these the mid-game team fights is going to be very strong. But now all eyes is on Purple Wizard. What can he do? He's got all the gold on his team as he actually goes mid.
Yeah, and we do just see that this is ECAST's biggest weakness that has been exposed so far. It is that their early game is a bit shaky except for Purple Wizard. He looks at the jungler, he tries to deny the jungler. That is their style. They want to make sure a Purple Wizard can just carry them through early by simply just making sure the enemy jungler doesn't exist. When he just can't do that enough, then it suddenly we see cracks in ECAST because their laners are so aggressive that they will overextend. But we just see Purple Wizard putting up an amazing performance nonetheless.
Yeah, we do indeed.
That's a Mountain Drake picked up as well, so that's going to be insane for late game.
The Bramble Vest actually coming out early. Oh, that's a lot of Aatrox damage onto.
Oh, a Borieko,
he's
one
back
more
up!
play. Oh,
And he actually stops the Fire Drag.
It's
Not
gonna
today, Spider Naut.
Jesus.
Camp bot lane, that's the game. Even
I
if,
mean, it's working so far. 100% kill participation.
yeah, but if you look at this bot side river, you've got to be wondering, how are these ganks coming through? Look at the amount of control wards and vision invested into the red side river. He must be coming through the lanes. That is how he's getting the lanes this through. And that was actually really, really unfortunate for Akua there.
Yeah.
The fact that his Fire Drag got the Dreadnought got
that's-
cancelled.
Oriole just going down Shockwave, not landing onto the Vladimir, he just pulls it away. But yeah, like, Borieko and Lunson has to start respecting that Jarvan will just camp the spot lane. It seems like they have a misread on what Jarvan wants to do, because they just keep on overextending, know full well that Purple Wizard won't be able to counter gang, because they just haven't spotted them on a wall, doesn't mean he isn't in the lane.
Yeah, and even though you can look at if you look at the both junglers now, you'd be like, oh, the Nidalee's got to be miles ahead. They've got 3 kills, and they've got nearly 30 CS lead. And yes, while in the 1v1 they are actually going for a gank top lane.
Renegade might just be falling down here, but Purple Wizard is up, he lands the Ornal, and the Purple Wizard picks up another one, as you were saying, but this time Nidalee's just a slight bit ahead in this one.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but you've still got to look at the Jarvan's kill participation. The fact he's got this Xayah very, very fed. This Xayah is going to be so strong, so far ahead of the Kai'Sa. Even if the Kai'Sa just goes for the slightly cheaper Muramana build.
And his Purple Wizard, but the mid lane priority is swapped, so he will just back out, realizing it's not worth.
Yeah.
Oh, but
that's-
this time
that's really
Requiem
good.
goes in because they spotted up in the top lane. There's a Jarvan there, but Boriaco, you're alone there, my friend. Meat Squeeze flashes, but misses onto Lunsen. Lunsen's trying to just make the big ploy plays. Requiem trying to get down Meat Squeeze as we see Lunsen falling. Held comes in, and we see the Riptide for Requiem getting the shutdown onto the side, getting a 2-for-1.
Yeah, the only unfortunate thing there is all the gold went on the. With Kai'Sa getting none of the kills there, but a bit of a misplay there from Meat Squeeze with the ult. Unfortunately, with the flash E, did mean that none of the feathers connected.
Yeah.
But
Like, it was an understandable one. Like, they
Yeah.
thought they were far enough ahead that they could be this proactive. But Desire just didn't have enough of her gold backed yet. Meanwhile, we see Lunsen and Requiem knowing this matchup so much better, and they were willing to use the stopwatch here.
yeah,
Which is- As we are seeing collapse mid lane. Oh, it's a climb going in. Purple Wizard is a bit stronger, but he...
Cataclysm is actually up.
Renegade also being 1v1 on the top side of the map. Now we're going back.
You
into
need to be
team
very
fight.
careful.
Vladimir.
there.
Oh, dodges the
Oh,
shockwave.
no.
Purple Wizard, are you out? Yeah, everybody's out so far. Herald being started as well, as we just see the bot lane getting free plates, as there's 5 members of ULM on the top side.
Yeah, you don't really want this to happen now for you.
Purple Wizard, if you steal this, you are god. So don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, it's just gonna be Herald flopping over. Who's gonna pick it up? It's gonna be the Climb. As we are seeing the teleport from Matrix going down bot lane, making it only 2 plates going down. Oh,
Oh.
Requiem just looking. He knows how strong he is. He knows how strong Lunsen can be. It is still a really strong bot lane, despite being so far down. They're so good at the game.
Yeah, it's especially now they've got 3 plates, and because they're going for the slightly cheaper Mana Moon build compared to the Essence Reaver on the side of the Kai'Sa, on the side of the Xayah, sorry. Kai'Sa can actually keep up in items with the Xayah, although it won't be stronger till later in the game because you want that 40-stat Mana Moon. The fact that now they've got about 11 CS lead, they've got 2 plates up on the Xayah, they're actually starting to claw back the gold deficit that has been in this bot lane so far this game. And we can see it's past 10 minutes, so what's happening? They're starting to make proactive plays. Icasta is starting to make the proactive plays. It's starting to move into the mid game. This is their territory. They know what to do. They know the rotations to make. It's whether ULM can match these rotations now, because they're winning bot lane. Although they are still winning, it's looking a lot closer than you would expect for a 4-2 Xayah.
And they have TP in from Uzimat, and there's just nothing Boriaco can do. He can't get the play on in time, so Aftershock doesn't do anything. Renegade, you might be a bit weak there, my dude, as Robox goes in. And Renegade flashes too late. Renegade, what are you doing, mate? You're almost like Boriaco here.
Yeah, that was just very good from the Orianna there, catching out.
Top lane's overextending. Can it just stop?
But that is now actually 2 Mountain Drakes over to the side of Icasta Grande. And because you have a Gwynsu's user in the Kai'Sa, you are going to be able to shred through that Baron now. So quick. Even though, obviously, Vladimir doesn't have the greatest Baron Clay, because you still have the Nidalee. The Nidalee still does reasonable damage with raw attacks. Not fantastic, but better. When you have the Tank of the Ornn, your Baron is very, very, very good on the side of Icasta Grande, especially since with the 2
Both supports looking with their Moby boots. They know that both junglers are down here, but the one that's spotted out, it will most likely be It's the Climb. He might have been walking over a ward, as Purple Wizard should have just been swept over everything.
Yeah, nothing.
Look, it's the lane gang this time. Boriaco misses the hook. Lunsen though gets flayed, as we do see It's the Climb here. Drag missing. We've already seen the Praise Seeker going up. As we do see Flash coming in for It's the Climb.
Here comes the Ornn.
Boriaco fall, but Ornhorn lands onto It's the Climb here. Can they get more?
Because
Oh,
tank
yeah,
it.
Meat Squeeze gets the anchor auto attack here
Oh,
as
no, he might
Requiem
be-
going down to tower, shot down to Saya.
No, actually,
Not
yeah.
giving over to his climb. Renegade making sure Purple Wizard gets a kill onto that Jarvan. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, it's a 1v1 that's not happening much as they're getting bot towered down with their 2 Mountain Drakes.
Yeah, it's a Casagrande's mid game, and they're here to fight.
Yeah.
We can now see the gold lead going into the side of a Casagrande. 2k gold lead now, and they scale so much better.
Oh, okay. Aggressive Uzi.
I guess if you want a bit of healing.
Oh wait, Purple Wizard. He's looking for the mid.
Wait. Purple
uh,
Wizard is so fed now on
yeah.
this.
7 stacks.
Italy.
So.
Just insane. And it's showing
Herald
why
pop
he
here.
is fed on this champion.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see Herald popped in like a second or two because it's about to time out, and that was why its climb refused to back down bot lane. They needed to get something so they could put the Herald.
Wait, is Herald? Yeah, there goes the
time's out,
Herald.
so he has to put it down. That was why they were so insistent on going bot lane one last time, even though it was very greedy after they've lost so much earlier during
Yeah,
the skirmishes.
I don't think this Herald is going to get that much from the top lane, so you know when they went for a
The tower's
5-man
already down. It's just gonna be a distraction, making sure the bot lane takes a bit longer. Trying to see if they can set up a play here top side.
Yeah, hopefully they can do this because it did take 5 people on the side of ULM.
Oh, they have already found Requa. Can they get something? Oh,
the
the
dredge line.
field goal.
Yeah. If the dread line have hit there, I think that was a very dead
We're looking
job.
for one more. This
Oh,
time he
he's-
gets the one, but there's still a Lancet.
There's a
Oh,
Lancet,
but
and
here
there's
comes
an
the
Assault.
Death. Oh, Borieko! Get away from that Nidalee.
So much poke damage on the side of a
Oh,
Casagrande. And they're still there. Oh, the hook goes wide. They need to be
Meanwhile,
very,
there's
very
3 mid
careful.
lane just taking to. Oh, Shockwave going down, lands onto 2. Renegade is really low. RoboX also poking down Uzimat. 1v3 RoboX is insane. Can we give this guy onto Vegas team? No, I think G2's recruiting mid laners. They're just putting him in differently. As we see Requiem getting called out here, the hook going
Oh no,
in.
they actually missed the
No
flare.
flash onto Borieko. We can't see Purple Wizard
Oh,
going in. He launches and snipes. Uzimat goes in here. It's the Vladimir mid game. As we see the Cataclysm is not enough. As Vladimir and Purple Wizard just picks up the kills left and right. It's 4 for 1 as they flash for only 1 kill.
Yeah, you don't want to fight in that gap when the Vladimir's there and your Aatrox isn't. That was a very well executed fight on the side of Casagrande there, managing to punish the over aggression from ULM. They had control over this early game, but they've been caught out over and over again because of a Casagrande's amazing mid game. So what we want to see from ULM now is for them to stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
And they need to start respecting Casagrande. They are not that far ahead. In fact, they are in a 3.2k gold deficit.
Yeah.
And even though your Zaya has a lot of gold, Kais is ahead in items. So
Definitely is.
you really, really need to be careful when taking these fights because you don't yet have the Infinity Edge. You don't yet have the free items. And until that point, you really want to be playing a lot safer. Because if Purple Wizard catches you in the jungle somewhere, you're dead.
Yeah.
That's a 7-1 Nidalee with 2 items at 18 minutes.
Yeah, you could say this was already done by the time the Purple Wizard got his first free kill. But to be honest, they've had a lot of chances if they just had a 5th member. And so far, the Aatrox has not been there. It's not the Fiora, he can't just sit and split push, he has to do something. This is the first time grouping and they're losing a Drake for it. And
Yeah,
meanwhile, they're also trading turrets. If we see Purple Wizard here might be able to help Uzimat just clear, then it's just gonna be insanely snowball as there are 5 people just to get 1 turret in mid lane so far. I don't
Yeah,
really think
that's
they're gonna get
only
the second.
1 turn and half of the tier 2, and they're actually having to
There's a
back off.
collapse here.
Look at the
One button
collapse.
is not up yet.
Yeah, and
But we still see Meat Squeeze being the focus as they are now focusing onto RoboX. RoboX is very low.
Yes.
He's going down. Now it's Moe's Monkey and it's the climb. Gets sniped by Purple Wizard. It's already 3 for 0. Ornhorn's finally
there's
up.
the Ornhorn.
Meat Squeeze, no ult. But we see Sky's just going in, but Flash from Meat Squeeze just gets him out. Borieko though, very low. No sniped yet.
well, I'm watching the Void Seeker. Come on, I want to see the Void Seeker.
Nah, he's already killed 1 with it. It's enough.
Oh. But another amazing collapse. They punished a 5-man mid. They knew they had to do something. They knew they had to force something, and they just got collapsed on and lost the fight. And this is going to be an inhib now at 20 minutes, and I'm pretty sure Casa Grande can just peel off and go straight to the Baron.
Probably could, but I think they are going
I think they're going to go for a
reset.
reset first. Yeah.
Yeah, because they aren't gonna be too committed onto like their focus here. They're just gonna make sure it's clean and safe. That's what we like about their mid game. It's clean and safe. They never actually go for an end play or a coin flip. As much as we say that they do like coin flip fights, the fights themselves are set up in a way where they can individually outplay because they're such a good team. It's never a fight where they believe they can actually lose it.
Yeah, so you can just look at the last fight for that. The fact that Zaya was basically out the fight from the beginning.
Yeah.
Had to use the ult and the flash to get away from the initial engage from the Nautilus. That Zaya did no damage, whereas Kai'Sa could just run free. All the kills on the side of ULM are on this Zaya. They need to really peel this Zaya and make sure Zaya is safe, because that is their primary carry. Even though they are quite far behind in CS, they still have the majority of the kills in the game. Even though Orianna is quite strong, but
time is getting out. Okay, yeah, you're completely right, and it's just they can start them even without crucial ultimates like the Ornn as well. Like these guys, they just know their limits and they know exactly how to focus fights. So it's never a loss when they actually try and take them because they have made sure it's always in their favor.
Yeah, and as we see now, them setting up towards Baron. I think they would actually be starting the Baron if it was that Red Gold steal from It's a Climb. But look at the damage. Just random Nidalee spears over the wall. Just do like half HP.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Lunsen and Uzimat are just getting farm. They no longer have the opportunity to give Meat Squeeze and RoboX all the farm in the world. So just making sure that they can farm up on ECA's side actually means that they get ahead really, really far. Because they have force just to make sure to even stay in the game, they have to group 5 people, which means they can literally just say, okay, we go 1-3-1, and now we're getting all the farm onto our 2 main carries, and you can't do anything about it, which means no matter what, you're losing position, because you can't even collapse onto us, because the 2 of us can just immediately teleport in or just ult in.
Yeah, we've
melt 2 mountains.
Yeah, look at this. Baron's gone. You've got a
no Uzimat needed.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and Aatrox was away from the tower. Too late, my dude.
Yeah, you've got your Kai'Sa, we've got the Guinsoo's, you're on like 2.5 items now, 3 items. You just shred through the Baron, especially with the two mountains. They've had complete Drake control throughout this entire early game, and considering at one point their bot lane was 0-3, like their Kai'Sa was 0-3, it's amazing how they've still managed to collect all these Drakes off like minute back timings, of just little like advantages they have gotten throughout this game. And it's amazing to see. It's amazing to watch. For example, the way, because there was 4 men mid from ULM, they had to commit 4 to stopping the super minion push. They just went top. So the top tier 2 converted it into a Baron. And now at 23 minutes, ULM are facing down a Baron with their mid inhibitor down, and it's looking like their top inhibitor is going to be next.
Oh yes, we already see Force and sieging topside. Uzimat still having that TP up, crucial. Drake is also spawning, so that might just be the consolation prize, but they do have Baron up and definitely do want to look for at least 1 inhib turret.
Yeah, they're now just waiting on minions. And Vladimir is going side, so we'll start pushing in that bot wave. Yeah, they really want to synchronize up these waves.
It's just so it doesn't matter. They don't even need it. Like it's nice with the mana for Nidalee, but to be fair, if they just make sure the camps are up, she should just be able to get the mana back from them.
Yeah, and now if we look, they're gonna have to go bot to go with Vladimir, and now they're at a point that there's the hook goes onto the Nidalee.
Onto Purple Wizard, the one member that can actually be caught out. He's a bit tanky. Recure making sure it's turned on. Rory Echo gets the 1k gold shutdown, but falls. This time, Aatrox actually in there. Lunson being very, very low. Mitsuis can't fight it. Uziman flashing in the. He's finally in the fight. Now you can see this damage as Robex has to flash just to not die. Mo though might just fall to Uzi here. He does get the healing, but Lunson coming in there for the last kill. Robex is so low. Requiem finally picking it up. Renegade
That's
just
the ace.
making sure Requiem gets more kills than the ADC. Requiem, what are you doing?
Yes. And did you see how long Purple Wizard survived for that? They threw everything at the kitchen sink at that middle lane.
Because, oh my god, you know, just the usual.
Like, oh.
Ikas will take the
GG.
series 2-0.
Yeah, and they will move into sole position as first place.
What a mid game.
Yeah, I want to see this gold graph actually. Where is the gold graph? Because like the way they snowballed this post 10 minutes again was amazing, because it suddenly went from even if not a slight lead to ULM straight into a 2 to 3k gold lead just off one team fight, and the way they the way they played their mid game was just so clean. And if we actually look at the Ornn now, 0-1 and 12, 2 games in a row, just doing so much work with these engages, giving the late game insurance of the items. Just a very well played series, and they look very, very strong as we start looking towards playoffs.
Yeah, definitely do, and it's been such a pleasure to cast these games. Definitely, we saw a lot from ECAS, and we even saw, like, from the other side here, that they can actually match up. It's just this mid game is insane, and somebody needs to find a way to shut it down. And we
Yeah.
will be looking towards playoff here, as ECAS looks to be the most dominating team here in Division 2. And we're hoping you guys will turn in. It's been a pleasure to cast for you. I've been Nicholas. I've been joined here today by my fellow colorcaster here, JFT. And we hope that you will tune in again next time. And good night and
Good night.
have fun.